Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Magic of Mayhem. I am your host, Austin. I've got the best guest. Back-to-back weeks here, back-to-back episodes. Mr. Jake Moreno, welcome back, sir. How are you feeling tonight?
Good. Thanks for having me. I appreciate being asked back, especially after last week with all the pickle hate.
The pickle
Hopefully,
hate.
hopefully it doesn't detract any viewers.
No, pickle hate is allowed, and no pickles is allowed as well too. But we're just gonna have to roll with it and just accept who you are right now. I'm
Yeah.
glad to have you back here. This week we're going over again. We're in the 8-part series for Disneyland. We're on part number 6, so we're coming down to the last wire here. Today we're doing off the beaten path kind of things you could do at Disneyland, as well as some funny moments for myself, Jake as well. I'm sure he's got some funny stories here. But just want to put a disclaimer in here. This is going to be more of an adult episode, so if you've got kids listening to this one, probably not going to be your best episode for kids to listen to. So I'm just putting that disclaimer. I'm sure I'll have an explicit thing on the start. Just curious off the bat, Jake, are you rocking any Disney merch today?
No, not today. No,
Ooh,
it's been a long day. Haven't been able to, but
oof.
I will make it a point to do it in the
Yeah,
future
we got to
for
do
every
like a
podcast.
fit check. So I've got a Vanellope Von Sweets shirt. Oh man, it's one of my favorites actually. I just wish I wasn't, such a chunkster with this shirt because it's a little on the snug side. I'm just saying that dad bod weight, it gets to you. it,
Yeah.
it happens.
I I do always have the Ducks hat. You can't really see it because of the camera, but
Ah,
the Ducks hat's always here. So again, Disney adjacent.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, okay, welcome back, Jake. I'm really glad to have you here. Really appreciate you giving your time again to talk some Disneyland fun with me. First, right off the bat, it's November, okay? Halloween is over, which means it's all about Disneyland Christmas, like
Yeah.
full on bore. When is your next trip, by the way? I just want to ask that so everyone knows.
Yeah, our next trip is I want to say December 1st through the 3rd. I want to say.
That's a solid time to go. It's not like exceptionally busy. Right at the beginning, it's usually ramps up those last 2 weeks before Christmas. So I think you picked a great time to go. Normally, sorry, go ahead. You had a
Nope.
thought.
Oh, no, no, no. Just that seems to be the best time if you're going to go in December, that week after Thanksgiving, right after, just within a couple of days. We found that that's pretty much the best time where it's not going to be absolutely nuts,
No.
right?
Yes, that absolutely nuts, and that it's actually like decent, and it's just early enough that you're still full in Christmas spirit, but not like ramping it up where everyone's trying to slam it in those last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's awesome. I'm really happy for you. A great time. Another great time, solid time, is always after October. That little week or two in there before Thanksgiving is always a great time. I've always had great experiences going at that point. Not going this year. That's okay. Baby Maverick is going to be one here in December, and then we could start doing some Disneyland trips. So it's coming up. It's coming up, and I'm excited to make that happen. Especially with him already loving Mickey Mouse and all that jazz. I'm excited. I'm excited. So, okay, let's just start this off. We prefaced it already. By the way, cheers anyone that's enjoying tonight. Modelo does not sponsor us, but they should because I drink. Okay, here we go. So stuff and tips, and we could go back and forth on this. I don't care. However, we're gonna do this, but I will just start off. This is kind of. I'll preface it here. This is gonna be things that maybe you can do at the park, like maybe it's a secret area or something that you find in a relaxation spot where you could get away from the madness for a little bit but still be in the park, or anything surrounding Disneyland itself. That can be a thing too. That way you can I am sorry, I'm just really distracted by the fact that I have like green eyes. I don't what is wrong with my camera right now. Oh, it
Nah,
fixed itself right there.
you look beautiful. Don't
Okay,
worry.
thank you.
Yeah.
But anyways, uh, screwing up the podcast right now, and I love it. This is why I love it. It's off the cuff. So things that you could do around the park as well. That's not necessarily in the park. I'm saying just surrounding the areas of fun stuff. I mean, you could always throw out Knott's Berry Farms, which is it's a good time, but it's not no Disneyland.
Mhm.
But that's not even anything on my list of things to do that you could do that are right beside Disneyland. So I'll just start off right here. I'm not sure if you're a fan of it or if you've ever done it, but the Anaheim Garden Walk, which is just down the street from the DCA side of Disneyland, that little area for restaurants. They've got some good bars and some shops there. I know I've been there throughout the years of staying there at the Knights Inn, kind of close there when I'm on a budget, and it's a good little spot to get away from the Disneyland busyness because that garden walk isn't super slammed. It's meant to be busy because it's a great open walkway. It's like a strip mall to some degree. But they call it the Anaheim Garden Walk. For those that have never been there, they have like bubblegum shrimp. They've got different kinds of restaurants that you could walk through. Be like good bars. I think there was a PF Chang's there the last time I was there. It may have changed. There was an Irish pub, anything like that. It's a great little walkway to just, kind of breeze, not enjoy, and not fight crowds, and have good places to eat. Have you ever been there, Jake?
I have not been to any of the restaurants there. I do drive by them frequently, though, so I'm familiar with everything you're talking about. And it's a really nice area that's right in between Disneyland and Angel Stadium and the Honda Center. So that whole area is actually pretty nice, and there's a lot of things to do there.
Yeah, I would say 100% you're on point with that. And I think I've bought T-shirts there at like some little off the wall like comic store place. Found some cool T-shirts. I'm a big fan of T-shirts. If anyone hasn't figured out by now, I try to always have a cool T-shirt on. So that's definitely a good spot to just kind of get away, just chill out a little bit and relax, away. You get good restaurants and stuff like that. I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself as that, but that's a great spot as far as, the surrounding areas of Disneyland. If you're looking for somewhere to do something like that, the Anaheim Garden Walk is top tier, I would say, for that one. Jake, we're just going to fire back and forth. So go ahead. Whenever you're ready, go for your first one.
Yeah, no, like, if you're going to be around Disneyland and want things to do, obviously, depending on the time of year, you can catch an Angels game, you can catch a Ducks game. There's a lot of good thing and entertaining things there. There's an orchestra there. I think I can't remember the name of it, but I know it has to do with Disney, right? So there's a lot of really cool things in that town to do, and yeah, if you're gonna enjoy your time other than at Disneyland, check those places out. Check the shopping out, and there's that big outlet. That around Christmas time has that giant present on it, right? So I've heard those are really good outlets. So same thing, you could do that. You could go to Knott's Berry Farm. It isn't Disney, but hey, it's something else to do.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do. Hey, during COVID time, they were one of the few parks that actually be fully open without rides because I guess you could catch COVID on the ride at the time. Made no sense. I think all of us were in a constant state of like, does this make any sense to you?
Yeah.
But anyways, the fact that they were open during COVID actually was one of our greatest things to just kind of get away. I think all of us struggle with that coopitis and being stuck, not being able to do anything. So shout out to Knott's Berry for taking that chance and doing it first. Although Disneyland did follow, and I did go to that one. So I think it was a Taste of Disney, which was
Touch of Disney.
Oh, Touch of Disney. That's right.
Yeah.
Did you do it, by the way?
Yeah, we did it too.
Oh, dude, I did too. We were probably like okay, that's the second thing that we were like, what? We probably were there at the same time. Great time. It was cool to be backlot and going to the now it's a merch store automatically, but at the time, like, to be backlotted and being able to go get some merch, like, that was sick. That was a good time. Things that you just said right now. Why did I not think of an Angels game or a Ducks game? Okay, we could preface that I am not a Ducks fan. I was the San Jose Sharks fan. We know this. We've discussed this. But the fact that, hey, you could go catch a hockey game or you could catch a baseball game literally right there, that's a great idea. It definitely takes you out of the swing of being at a theme park, and then you get to go watch some professional athletes go do the best things that they're good at. It's awesome. Great ideas. I didn't even think of that. So that was a good one, Jake. That definitely great spot kind of thing. Okay. Now I'm going to switch back I'm going to be back and forth kind of. But this is one that I would say is like a great hideaway sitting spot. Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah.
In Disney?
Actually, we're going to go to DCA. So let's start out with Disney California Adventure. One of these spots that you can kind of get away. You're still going to be in the crowd, but you could sit and kind of enjoy your time and kind of, people watch. It's a great spot. It's right in between Popcone in Cars Land and Luigi's Casa della Tires. It's not in the front of that on the main street of Cars Land. It's actually one street in between. So a Popcone, you could literally walk from, if you're looking at Popcone, you walk to your right, and there's this little alleyway that takes you to the main street that takes you back to Avengers Campus. But if you're looking straight across, you're looking at Luigi's Casa della Tires. But there's some benches right there. Actually, during those times when we had to kind of isolate from each other, that was a good spot for us to sit and kind of get away and be able to just relax for a minute, where you're off the crowd path and you kind of get a little bit moment to yourself, and you could watch what's going on. And I love that. That's a great spot that we figured out when you're in DCA, to just kind of get away and enjoy the crowd watching and enjoy a pop cone. Or yeah, what was it? A chili cone queso? Oh yeah, chili cone queso. That's a solid one, by the way. One of my favorites. Always good. And then you can always get some good popcorn and stuff like that from the Cozy Cones, man. Solid one. And then you can also see right there, you're looking kind of straight at Mater or Lightning McQueen or whoever is doing like their little meet and greet right there. It's a good spot to just kind of sit down and chill and be paying attention to that. So one of my good spots. I like that one. Go ahead. You got anything for me?
Yeah, no, that's a really good spot actually. And we found that spot actually during the Touch of Disney.
Oh, yeah, us
Be-
too. Us too.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, because Avengers Campus wasn't yet open,
Yeah.
and we were kind of over in that area, and yeah, we found that's a great spot. Another good spot that we like, and it's not that it's particularly pretty, but there's not always a lot of people. It's that area over by Monsters, the Monsters ride. There's a lot of tables over there, a lot of area just to kind of sit and hang out. That's a really great place. Also, we found, I can't remember if we talked about breakfast last episode, but we really like breakfast over at the was Smoke Jumpers,
Oh,
right? So we
yes.
go there. That place is no one's there in the morning.
No.
So it's really nice, really quiet. It's pretty over there. So that's another good spot. So over by Smoke Jumpers and over by the Muppets Theater, you know what I'm talking about. Over in that area.
So,
There's some pretty good spots there.
what kind of breakfast does Smoke Jumpers have? I don't think I've ever ate there for
Oh,
breakfast.
they have the breakfast burrito. It's not quite the same one that they have at Galactic Grill, which
Ooh.
is unbelievable.
Ooh.
If we had to do a whole episode on those things.
Oh, we've got food. Don't
But
worry.
yeah,
It's coming up.
yeah. So yeah, they have a really good burrito there. They also have a really good breakfast sandwich. So it's like a sausage sandwich on a hamburger bun. Like it's egg, the whole thing. Really, really good.
Oof. You're getting me hungry over here already.
Yeah, I know.
I know it's late at the night, but we're food talk is always going to be a good one for sure. Great spots. I was gonna jump on that one as well, but I kind of just blanked out as far as what I was gonna say. But Smoke Jumpers, great spot. What was the other one you had said? In that area of DCA, the wine, what is that called? The
The
wine.
terrace.
Yes, thank you. The
Yeah.
wine terrace in DCA, also kind of a sleeper spot. No, it's all you could always kind of pick up a reservation there, and hang out, but also a very good relaxing spot. I know multiple times we've walked up there and kind of gotten a glass of wine or anything as far as that, and just hung out up there. Another great spot. I really enjoy the views you get up there.
Yeah.
It's really cool. If you get a chance to ever get to the second story of Carthay Circle, another great spot for views and a good chill out spot. That's a little bit harder to do because obviously Carthay Circle kind of gets busy and reservations come up quick. But if you get that chance, that second story, great views as well into DCA. But that's not really like an off a beaten path thing. Obviously, everyone does that one, but those are just kind of good chill out spots for I would say for more the adults. But two great spots.
Yeah.
Let's switch over now to I would say the Disneyland side.
Oh, hold
Unless
on.
you go ahead.
There's one more I
Okay.
forgot about.
Feed it.
And it's really nice, but it's most of the time filled with smoke because it's a smoking area over in DCA. It's over by the Grand Rapid, the River Run,
Oh,
right? So instead of going over by the forest, you go the other way, and it's under the bridge. That's a pretty cool area too. If you just want to sit and relax, it's really quiet over there.
is that
Great place to just hang out.
like you're walking to Ariel's? if it's that way.
So yeah, so you would pass Ariel heading towards the Grizzly River Run, and instead of going left towards like the Grand Hotel and all
Yeah.
that, you go right,
Oh,
and it is off literally what we're talking about, off the beaten path,
yeah.
and it's pretty good.
I don't think I've done that one. So okay, I'll remember that for next time when I go. I'll be like, you know what, everyone, we always go left. You always just make it. Just I don't
Of
know,
course,
force a
yeah,
habit makes you go left.
yeah.
So okay, I'm gonna try that one next time. Okay, any more for DCA? Are we good to move on?
I think we're good.
Okay, all right. So DCA, this one isn't. Man, I'm saying these are off the beaten path, but not necessarily as I'm kind of reviewing and talking these out with you. Um, the Tropical Hideaway behind the Tiki Room. I would say still kind of like an off the beaten path because you can always find a spot to sit there. So usually if it's off the beaten path, it's not super packed or popular. So as just saying that on that Tropical Hideaway spot, which is behind Tiki Room, you kind of get there. It's where basically was where Aladdin was back in the day. I don't know if you remember that, but in that
Yes.
corner, it shoots you back behind Tiki Room. But rip to Aladdin. That spot was pretty dope. But hey, now we got the Tropical Hideaway, which I'm all about. You could get a Dole Whip there. Very seasonal as far as what kind of Dole Whips they do too. They could do some kind of fruity ones or some like more tart ones. But a great spot. We've gotten a spot to chill out there. Usually we shoot there for nighttime. Like when you just need a place to kind of sit down. You've already done like Haunted Mansion, Pirates, and you're just coming back that way towards the front of the park. It's a great spot to just chill out for a minute, maybe grab a Dole Whip and just hang out. Like I said, it's not busy, so you're able to get a spot. And like I said, if it's off the beaten path, it's not super popular, so I'm getting away with that on a technicality, and I'm going to take it, okay? So don't shoot me for that one, okay?
Yeah, no, it's all good. The shout out for the Aladdin deal, because it was a restaurant kind of, right?
It was like a meet and greet kind of weird thing. Like Aladdin
Yeah,
was, or Genie was always kind of out front. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I got more scared to like walk through it. I didn't do it. So
yeah.
I'm throwing from inexperience, which is terrible after all the years of being there. Not once was I like, Aladdin, I'm gonna do it today. It was always like, oh, there's Aladdin, cool. I'm going to Indiana Jones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, and I liked the big building that in the front, that big
Yeah,
opening, the doorway.
yeah.
That was really cool, and like because it made you feel like it was a ride or something,
Oh yeah.
But that would have been off the beaten path. Definitely the Tropical Hideaway now. Even though yes, a lot of people go there, a lot of people eat there. It is kind of tucked away, so that is a nice one. I do love that place. My wife loves it.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah,
And I'm getting by with a technicality. Okay, I'm taking that.
yeah, it's all good.
Okay, go ahead. What you got?
Yeah, so for us, I think one of our favorite spots in the park, and this is the thing, there's a lot more spots in the park at Disneyland that are really off the beaten path. One that's not so far off the beaten path, but it's nice. It's right in between Adventureland and Frontierland. There's a little spot where you can go over a little bridge, and there's a bench there, and there's usually a little pond with ducks. Right. So that's a nice little spot because you can just sit there, hang out, and it's really quiet. And because a lot of people use the Adventureland entrance, right?
Yeah.
And or the Frontierland, but this is just to the right of it. And it's really nice. I love
Hey, great spot. I agree with you on that one for sure. That little pathway is a great spot. I love that you said it's a little duck pond because 100%. Hey, Disneyland ducks, they got the best life,
it.
honestly.
Yeah, they
Disney
do.
any Disneyland duck is like, you know what? I figured something out, and the rest of you birds in this world ain't got it figured out, man. They're taken care of at the Disneyland park, right? A great one. I love that one. I got a little bit of a hideaway spot, and I think it was a smoke spot at one point, and I don't think it is anymore. And I've sent you my notes, so I'm pretty sure you know what I'm going to be talking about. But there's that little path that's kind of under the monorail, right by Matterhorn, that you're able to just kind of go in the back there, and it's hidden. It's
Mhm.
hidden, and you are literally in a hideaway spot off the beaten path that you could kind of just chill. There's actually like a whole what do you call like a garden area in between you and the main path of everything, so you literally could disappear back there and no one would be able to see you. So that's a great one. There's some benches and stuff like back there, and you're able to chill out and just kind of relax, get away from the big crowds, which is something you do at Disneyland. At times you get a little crowd overwhelmed and you need just a minute to just catch your breath, and you're like, okay, let's attack these crowds again. And I think we all deal with that. It's not anything that nobody in going to Disneyland, it's the happiest place on earth, but there's still times where you just want to, punch someone. Okay. I'm just being honest.
It is are you talking about the one that's got water all around it?
Oh,
Like it's so there's a spot that's over by Matterhorn and it's over by Galactic Grill, like, and that's usually where we go after we get the burrito or breakfast in the morning.
mm,
And it's this cement area and it's got tables, right? It
yeah.
kind of circles around.
Yeah. It's just like,
But it's in a straight line.
it's almost like a D shape, like, but I'm sorry, it's backwards. So if you're looking at it this way, if you're walking to the Matterhorn and the Matterhorn's on your left, it's literally under the monorail you cross, and it's a little,
Yes.
yeah, it's a
Yes.
great
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah, the great spot, little pond all around it.
Yeah,
That's a good spot too.
yeah, 100%, 100%. I love that spot. I actually just thought of one, but I go ahead and then I'll remember it.
Okay. Another spot I would say is pretty much any spot on Tom Sawyer Island.
Ooh,
Yeah,
ooh,
because when you get over there, there's usually not a lot of people there, right? And there's so many little spots on that island, and they have the fort, and the fort at one time I believe used to be open, and it
it
had
did.
little shops and stuff. Is that
Yes,
correct? Okay.
100%.
That's such a bummer because that's a really cool spot, and now none of it's open. It's not really used very well. That's a bit of a bummer,
Yeah,
but
100%.
that's a good spot.
Yeah, I would say so too. 100%. Sorry, keep checking over here. I think Maverick might be waking up again. Sorry, I apologize, everyone. I'm just checking on my wife as she's walking back and forth. Poor thing. Uh, so that's the spot that I actually thought of. Well, rest in peace, the Splash Mountain. It's all about Tiana's now. There's actually a little walkway that you can see. Excuse me. That you can see the logs come down, and they actually come right towards you, and then make their corner. And if you're not sure of it, if you look on your Disneyland app on the map, there's actually a little walkway path that you literally are just on the water. You could look at Tom Sawyer Island from where you're at. But it's a little hideaway spot that really a lot of people don't even know is there, honestly.
Yep.
It's a great spot to see the people get all soaked coming down on Tiana's, which it was Splash Mountain at the time. You could see them all come down and get splashed and everything, and you're looking right down at it. Great little spot. It's not necessarily, I don't think it really has any benches or anything, but because it's just a little walkway, but still a cool little off the beaten path thing you can do. You can walk through that and just see the blogs. And it was definitely a spot that people kind of figured out once they saw that they were testing Tiana's, that people were like, oh, look, I'm going to go stand right there. And I could see them testing it. So it was actually kind of got more unveiled as that. But I actually knew that before it all happened. So I'm just going to say I'm an OG. I knew that one. Okay. Can't steal that from me, people. That it was actually right there on that walkway. So I would say that's another great spot that I just thought of as we were talking about this. Because, the fun part about our conversation is remembering and having good memories.
Of course.
Of just pure happiness that me and you both love. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's a great spot for me. Any more for you?
Yeah, you're referring specifically to that place right by Harbor Galley, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
There you
yeah, the
go.
little offbeat. Yeah,
Yep.
because there is tables and chairs, but not exactly where you were talking
Right,
about. You're
right.
right. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's like all the way around. Another place I would say, there's that kind of garden area or kind of bricked area that's over kind of by the French Quarter, and it's in between the Haunted Mansion. At night, like at night, it's really, really, especially when you got a good fall moon,
Oof.
and you sit there with the wife, maybe share a beignet, couple
Romantic.
kisses,
Yeah, yeah. Romantic.
yeah, like that's a good time. That's a good spot. Um, Gosh, I know I'm gonna think of one too, but go ahead, you're next.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna start switching away from like off the beaten path things
Okay.
and mostly focus on like activities or things that I'm more disappointed that maybe I didn't know. And that is full bore on my list of things to do. Okay, I'm just gonna talk about it right here. And all of my years of going there, I never once paid attention to this spot, and I'm really disappointed because it has my absolute favorite thing, and I'm just so disappointed. Okay, for those that don't know what I'm talking about, in between the basically the castle and going into Fantasyland, there is a treat shop on your left, kind of right where you meet the princesses and everything. And I don't know if that princess thing is still going on to this day. Is that still a princess spot? You meet people?
Yeah,
The
I believe
Princess
there is.
Fair
Yeah.
or whatever on the
Yeah.
left. If you're looking at the castles to your left, there is a spot there called Maurice's Treats. Okay, Maurice, talking about Beauty and the Beast, Belle's dad, Maurice, is Maurice's Treats. I have just discovered that they have a garlic cheesy pretzel bread, and that is, if anyone that's listening or that doesn't know me, my absolute favorite thing on this freaking planet is garlic bread. And the fact that this whole time, my entire existence of going to Disneyland, that there has been a garlic cheesy pretzel bread there, I am so sad that my park going self has never gotten to experience it. And I was listening to a podcast, which was Lou Mangello, one of my all-time favorite podcasters when it comes to just Disney in general. They were talking about Maurice's and the garlic cheesy pretzel bread, and I was like, "What?" And they were like, "Yeah, when you're in Disneyland, you got to get this." I'm like, "What? I've never even heard of this spot." And I look it up, and I probably walked by it a cajillion times and never stopped to have it. And it's my favorite thing. I'm really disappointed. So I would say, because it's not talked about, I would say not a lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, you stopped at Maurice's." Like, nobody I have known in my existence of talking to people has ever been like, "Oh yeah, did you have that pretzel bread, garlic pretzel bread at Maurice's?" And I've been super disappointed. So my question to you, Jake, since like I need you to either confirm or deny that I'm an idiot on this one, have you had Maurice's garlic pretzel bread?
We have not, but
Ooh.
yes, we have not, but we are aware of it.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, and it's right because it's right over by the Royal Theater,
Yes, there you
right?
go. Royal Theater.
That's
Thank you.
yeah. So, and I'm kind of looking at the map just to kind of remind myself. Yeah, like they even have it on the map
On the
because
map.
it's an established spot.
On the map. And I've never, I mean, I could say I've been going to Disneyland for 25 years. Never once have I ever just been like, yeah, Maurice's. Never. And I'm
Yeah.
really disappointed that it's taken me 33 years of my life. Am I 32 or 30? I don't even know. 32, 33. 32 right now. I'll be 33 this month. November 18th, by the way, anyone want to jot this down? November 18th is my birthday. If you want to send me lots of gifts, I won't deny it. I promise. But for 25 years, I have walked past that spot, not once ever even checked to see what's on that menu. And that's disappointing in myself. So I apologize to all those that know about Maurice's. I will make sure that's one of my things that I go to in the future because it's got
Yeah.
my absolute favorite thing. Okay, since I just rambled on about garlic bread, I'm sorry,
Hey,
Jake.
no, there's nothing wrong with that. Garlic bread, we could talk for hours on. No,
Yes.
I think the big part of this thing is where sometimes you go to the park, especially as a young man or a young boy, whatever, and every time you go, you just want to run and do the rides and get the experience and go over these places, and you kind of like miss some of these smaller spots, right? And that's exactly probably what's happened every time you've gone, right? Because
100%.
but as you start to get older, and now you're getting old, like me, once you start to get older, you start to realize, you know what? Yeah, I still love the rides. I still want to do the rides, but I want to take a look at this little corner over here. I want to go on Tom Sawyer Island and I want to search the whole thing. I want to go over to the Star Wars land and see what's over here where no one goes, right? So that's you'll start to see every crevice of Disney as you continue to go and the older you get.
Oh, 100%. And
Yeah.
that's what makes it so much fun is that there's always stuff to explore. I mean, Bob Gurr just posted about those steps that actually are in Tomorrowland area. I don't know. Do you know Bob Gurr, right? Do you know who
Yeah.
Bob Gurr is? Okay,
Mhm.
so he posted about these steps with a chain like that just go into this hill and they disappear, and that it was the original toboggan. It's not toboggan. The is it a mandolin? What do they call like the it's wow, I'm crashing and burning right now.
No big deal.
The
No big deal.
things you jump in and they like transport you to the other side.
The people, not the people movers.
But yeah, okay, you're on the right path, but it was
Okay.
actually like say you're at snow park or whatever. What do they call that?
Oh, the lift, the ski
Yeah,
lift.
okay,
Yeah,
basically ski lift.
basically a
But
ski
those
lift. Yeah.
three steps used to go to wow, this is a crash and burn right here, Jake, and I'm so sorry. I'm embarrassing us both.
Why you sad? Why are you sorry? It's no big deal.
Because this
You
is
can't remember everything.
here's my blooper right here. This is gonna go. Yeah, I'm getting all viral views for this one. But anyways, that was the original walkway up to the station, and I was like, see, but that's stuff you learn as you've been part of Disneyland for so long, and you
Yeah.
just explore and start to see and question. You're like, what is that, or what was that event at one point?
Yeah.
So that's a good one. Back to your Star Wars and Black Spire Outpost is one of the most, I would say, areas that it keeps you busy. You could ride the rides, you can interact with characters, you can um, enjoy Oga's Cantina. It's the most enveloped land that just soaks you in. You could build a lightsaber, you could build a droid. You got all these activities that is just directly involved with that land and the theming and all that. I know we talked about theming and everything last week, but something that was really talked about at the beginning and then kind of I haven't really heard a lot of people that do it, but I always make sure that I do is whip out that Play Disney app and whip out my location services that I am hanging out in Star Wars Land in the Black Spire Outpost, and I play the little games that are involved with that app. I don't know if that's something. Do you know what have you done it?
Oh yeah. Well, I haven't done it, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I've
Okay.
seen it a lot. I've contemplated doing it, but again, like I said, you're worried about getting to the next ride or
Oof.
getting your food or whatever the deal is. But yeah, I've really wanted to do that.
Okay, so here's my challenge or my thing that I'm requesting you to do when you go in December is
Okay.
get the Play Disney app and start interacting with the land because that app makes things happen, which is completely epic. I know people have probably been like, "Oh, I knew about this," and for those that don't, this is just to take your Disneyland experience to another level. So on the Play Disney app, you could do like mobile games is basically what it is, where you're like connecting A to B or B to C and stuff like that, and you can't mess up the little contraption or whatever. But when you do it and you're like, say you're hacking a satellite that's on the premise that you're next to it, literally that satellite or whatever pole that you're interacting with on the app will come to life. And either I've seen it before, I've seen it adjust, like it's like you successfully completed on the app and it adjusted or it made sounds. When you mess with the Millennium Falcon, it will shoot out steam. You can mess with Kylo Ren's a ship and it makes sounds. You can fire up the speeders, you can make robots talk, and it's all off that Play Disney app. And I think that is the ultimate sense of like, oh man, it just envelops you into that thing. You get a decoder and you got to find things for your app to decode while you're just walking around. Talk about the ultimate envelopment and just you forget where you are. And I love those types of experiences. I know you definitely do,
Oh yeah.
where you could just kind of escape the world for a minute and be in this world that they created for us. Black Spire Outpost still to this day is my absolute favorite land. You can't beat it right now. I mean, Universal's probably knocking at the door right now saying, hey, we're going to make like 6 lands happen right now in Florida and be like,
Yeah.
yo, what up, Disney? Keep up. But I think they set that precedence of what a new expansion land has to be. And that's one of my favorite, like, off the beaten path kind of moments, right? Like that not a lot of people, the amount of people that I've taken to Disneyland and gotten to show that and them being like, "What? You just made that happen?" Ugh, this is the ultimate nerd moment and it makes you feel so cool. It's so cool. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, they did that, with the experience at the what was it, the Star Cruiser Hotel in Florida. Like that was a really cool deal because they had a lot of cool stuff there. I mean, the price tag is what made it, kind of really tough on people. But that I mean, yeah, the world that they built, the experience they built, you get a good taste of that at Disneyland and at Disney World at the in the Star Wars land there. But yeah, no, if it's all these little extra touches like we talked about the magic last week. It's all the little extra touches that matter and make your experience even better. So Yeah, that's a cool thing to do.
Yeah, 100%. Please do it.
I'll
Just
do
for
it. I'll
me,
do it for
whether
you.
you just do it for 5 minutes, that's all you got to do. Just
I'll do it
hack
for you.
something and make it come to life, and you'll be like, 10-year-old Jake will be like, he'll just come out, and you'll feel so excited about it. I didn't add this on my list, and I'm thinking about it as we do, but things that like create that interactivity is always super fun. I think with Disney, with the Magic Band, and this is more Walt Disney World because I don't think we had that, but where they would do like a character statue and you would wave your Magic Band in front of it and it would interact. Um,
Oh, wow.
Super cool. And it was for their 60th anniversary. Was that right? I forget.
Oh, okay.
Is Walt Disney World 60 or 70? I
I
think
think I
it's
think
probably 60.
Walt Disney World started, I believe, in 71.
So yeah, so
I
60. I forget. It was one of their anniversaries. But anyways,
that'd be
you could wave a magic band and it would like make it come to life, which super cool. Yeah, great times. Great times there. Okay, so last bit, do you have any final words, final thoughts for that topic that we just
for
discussed?
off the beaten path.
Yeah, or any cool activities or anything like that as far as
Okay, yeah,
that's
of
not a
course. Like
normally talked thing.
yeah, like Mr. Lincoln,
Oh,
that's a good one. A lot of the shops in the front, that you just quickly bypass to go to Main Street and then go to, the rest of the park. There's a lot of cool little shops in there, like the ones that have all the artwork. If you when you're coming to the park directly to the right, and I can't remember the name of the place. Let me see if I can find it. Um,
you're talking about right next to Mr. Lincoln?
yeah, so yeah, the Disney Gallery or
Oh,
Disneyana.
oh yeah.
So right there on the right when you first walk in, they have some really cool stuff there.
Yeah.
So that's a good spot to go. But yeah, as far as beaten path, I think we covered most of it, and I'm sure there's some stuff like not Toontown, but
Yeah.
there's some stuff like like in some other areas that are real nice to kind of sit. But I think those are the coolest, most special, and not talked about a lot.
Yeah, I would say too. Anybody that's listening, or we would love to hear your feedback on anything cool that you maybe have discovered that we didn't discuss or that other people have shown you, or vice versa. It doesn't really matter. Something that you enjoy, write in the comments here. We love hearing back from this as far as cool feedback, as cool things that you did. I know I post clips like this on Instagram and like talking about what do you enjoy, and getting that feedback is super cool. So please, if you're listening, just go ahead, hit up our socials, and we'd love to hear from you. All right, now it's on to a fun time. And I know I haven't ever told you these stories, so I'm excited to tell you them. Uh, do you have any funny moments as well that I already, we kind of preface this, and I don't know the story, so I'm excited to hear your one. Do you have more than just one, by the way?
Yeah, I there's one that's pretty good that we still laugh big about to this day, and there's another one that's kind of smaller. Yeah. Shoot.
Great. Okay. All right. So, first off, again, prefacing this, because this is where the adult content really is going to hit for most people. So please, if you don't have kids, I'm just being real PG right now, even though I've said from the very beginning, this is an adult show. So this is adult time. Okay. Kids, don't be listening, even though you're going to listen. Okay. First off, okay. We're just gonna, I've been referencing COVID a lot this time, and I hated that time. It was such a strange time. We didn't know what was right, what was wrong, and then at the end we left and we're like, this is stupid. So anyways, at the time, I am 99% sure that Disney had COVID sniffing dogs. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I mean, who knows what they can detect?
Okay, 100%, right? Well, okay, we were going into downtown Disney, and I swear I woke up that morning and I'm like, oh boy, I'm like congested. I don't feel that great, and this is not going to be good. So right away, they're like, please, you're going to walk down into downtown Disney, and they do their little security checkpoint. And I'm walking up, and I'm like kind of nervous because I'm like, I don't know what this dog's doing right now. This is during COVID. They were, I don't know, they were pulling out all these weird cards, and I got really nervous. So We're walking into downtown Disney, and the officer's like, hey, please just walk forward like normal. Well, I noticed that this dog out of my peripheral bolts right behind me. And I get really nervous, like, oh my God, like I've got COVID and this dog's gonna sniff it on me and like alert everyone, like, hey, this guy's got COVID right now, and start barking at me. So he walks behind me, and all of a sudden the officer stops, and I could just hear it all now at this point. I've walked past the dog. The dog definitely bolted towards me, and I hear him look to another officer and go, 7 out of 10. And I'm like, what does that mean? 7 out of 10? What are you referencing? That he got a C? This dog just got a C? Like just sniffing me right now? Does that 70% that I'm got a freaking cold? Like that I got COVID? Like I was so nervous walking through that. And I'll have more stories of walking through and dealing with the dogs, but I always get so nervous. And so we left, we walked through and got to downtown Disney, and I look at my wife and I'm like, I don't know what just happened, but I got really nervous that they were going to just turn me away, and it was all bad. So COVID dogs, I believe they were COVID dogs. I will die on that hill that he sniffed me, and the officer gave me a 7 out of 10. I'm like, is that 7 out of 10 that I'm good looking? Is that 7 out of 10 that I'm like a piece of crap right now?
Or yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, I
what does
want
it
to
mean?
know. If anyone that dealt with that during the times, please let me know what my 7 out of 10 was, because I'm still disappointed that I'm a C to everyone.
He was judging your ass. That's
Judging. My ass was a C apparently. 7 out of 10. And I was like, wait, what does that mean? Could you imagine just walking through and getting that? And you're like, I don't know what just happened right now, but that dog sniffed me and I got a C now. I barely passed class.
Yeah. Hey, well, you passed,
I passed,
right? So it was all good.
C's get
And
degrees, baby. C's get degrees.
Unfortunately, you were a super spreader that day, but what are you going to do? It is what it is.
You can tell we play hockey. We got no filter, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, so the first quick story, one of the ones we still tell all the time was we took my sister, my middle sister, we took her to Disneyland when she was real young, right? Which is what you do. And I think at the time I'm about 9 years older than her, so I want to say I was around 12 and she was about 3. And she had one of the classic Disney kid meltdowns, right? Unfortunately, she did it right in front of Mickey's house. And so, my dad, gave her a spanking, whooped her right there in front of Mickey's house. And my mom let her have it. My mom was like, oh, you got spanked in front of Mickey's house. I don't know if we're going to be able to come back and all these. So that was one of my favorite things. And to this day, like whenever we go there, and I'll tell my sister, "Hey, you remember this place?" Or this is stupid.
Do you remember when he got spanked in front of Mickey's house?
Yeah, remember when he got spanked at Mickey's house?
Now, was it in the house or was it in the front?
It was in the front. Oh. And you know what's weird about Mickey's house is I was told by a good friend of ours who used to be a cast member that they actually call Mickey's house the morgue.
Whoa!
I think it was the morgue or like the ice house or something like that. It's probably just a rumor, but supposedly, morgue? Yeah. Well, like they keep it colder there, I guess, because a lot of cast members will go back there, on their breaks and stuff. That's what I've heard. Don't know if it's true. Not going to say who told me,
man.
But I've also heard that unfortunately, when people die at Disneyland, they're taken back there.
Whoa.
So I'm like, oh gosh, I don't know. I've heard the stories, but I don't know.
This is not confirmed or denied, everyone.
Not
so
confirmed.
Don't flip out. But
yeah.
Hey, yeah. I'm good with the Mickey morgue. That sounds pretty tight, actually. Okay. All right, here we go. Now we're getting into real adult stuff here. All right. So one of my first few times of being high as a kite, my wife and I were celebrating. I don't know if we had gotten engaged or we were towards that end. So we were celebrating something because we even bought like a special $150 bottle of wine. By the way, that was garbage. We're like, yeah, let's spend all this money on this wine. Me and her can drink a $10 bottle of wine and it tastes fantastic. And we spent $150 on this bottle of wine. We kept it like in the nice box. Like we were like, okay, we're going to celebrate here. First of all, us celebrating in the hotel meant we used the little see-through cups. Okay, because we were like, what are we doing? We don't even have anything good to drink it out. So we drink out of see-through cups. and it is just the worst bottle of wine I think I've ever had at $150. So don't take my advice when it comes to wine because I'm a $10 guy. But anyways, so we're
Gotcha.
celebrating, we're having a good time, and we were like, hey, let's smoke a little bit, smoke some weed, and let's go to Disneyland because we're already there. That's why we're celebrating. We're having like a little vacation time, right? And I'm high, like as a kite, high as can be. We're walking. I'm feeling good. Everything's great. And of course, here I go again with the dogs. It's security checkpoint, right? I am so high that I am now paranoid that the dogs can smell me, that they're
Hmm.
like, this guy is walking by and he is high as can be. So again, apparently I just have bad experiences with these dogs, but I walk by and I swear that dog locked on me again and was watching me as I went by. And I'm like, oh my God. I told my wife, I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I started having like the high panic. And my high panic was like, that dog knows that I'm high right now. And then I had this existential crisis that, oh my God, there's a dog that knows that I'm high right now. And I'm through the moon now. I'm way too high to be even walking through. And yet I did. And that was one of our funny stories of just like, I have the worst experience with those dogs. I swear, I think I'm telepathic to them and they read and smell and know everything about my life as soon as I walk by them because they are judgmental. Okay. And
He,
go ahead.
they, they are. No, they are. Their judgment. Did the dog say 7 out of 10
Yeah, he
for
barked
that one
7 times,
too?
bro. He barked 7 times. He was like, he's only a 7 out of 10. No, and that was one of our moments where I was like, no way. Like I was just extremely high, and the fact that I walked by those dogs, I felt the judgment on them, and it was terrible, terrible. So apparently, myself, Austin, and the dogs at Disneyland, we're tight. They know my life story. Okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's funny because those dogs sometimes will lock onto you,
Oh,
and I went to that the trip I went to recently that we talked about. I had my boots on, which my boots I wear in the field all the time. And what other than dirt and water, what do you find in a farm field all the time? Like
it's
chemicals,
yeah, big
right?
time, big
And
time.
what did they use in explosives?
Well,
Chemicals,
chemicals.
sometimes fertilizers,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
So I've had them come right to my feet, start sniffing. I've all kinds of stuff like that in the airport, at Disneyland, all that stuff. They come sniff me and they check me, and okay, you're good. But yeah, no, those dogs
Oh,
are on it. But
yeah,
hey, that's what they get paid for. That's
for
why they're
sure.
they're fed good.
Absolutely.
They got a good 401k.
That yeah,
It's
of
the whole thing.
retirement. Absolutely. Yeah. That's how you know. They're like, oh yeah, Austin's a 7 out of 10, and he's definitely high as hell right now walking into Disneyland. So yeah, they're paid the big bucks for that reason.
That's
To
right.
know my life story. So there you go, dogs. I appreciate you. Don't let my animosity towards you fool you, but I love you, okay? You are doing your job of protecting us at Disneyland. Uh you got any more funny stories? I got two left after you,
Yeah,
so go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. I'll do mine, and then you close it out.
Okay.
So my favorite story, my mom, this was this was probably I'd say 2014, so about 10 years ago. As a family, we really started going to Disneyland because at first it was just my wife and I, and we went the first year we were together, and then we went for our honeymoon, and then we started kind of going, consistently, and
Solid
we'd always
honeymoon,
do,
by the way.
huh?
Solid honeymoon decision,
Yeah,
by the way. Yeah.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
good. It was a fun time, and that's when you could afford Disneyland and still not have any money.
Yes,
You
100%.
know? So,
100%.
so anyway, yeah. We're little context. My mom, she had a surgery to remove a cancerous growth near her eye,
Hmm.
and luckily it wasn't super serious. They got rid of it and it was okay. But she was really paranoid from that point on about the sun, right? So she didn't want, to be, she wanted to be covered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we go to Disneyland. It's winter time, so it's kind of overcast. I mean, there's no reason to be wearing, sunglasses and a visor and a hoodie. She's wearing it all, right? And she's like, I just don't want to get cancer again. I'm like, I totally understand, Mom. Totally understand. But you have to understand the way she looks is like I said, with the visor, with the hoodie, with the sunglasses, she looks like the Unabomber
Oh
walking
God,
around.
even worse. Yeah.
Right. So we're on Splash Mountain. We're waiting to get on. And back then they still had the traditional fast pass.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So
Rest in
there's all
peace.
these people. Yeah, there's all these people just kind of running through the line, all that stuff. So we're getting there. We've been in line for probably about 20, 25 minutes or so. And we're getting towards the end. And this little boy, he's probably about 8 or 9, he runs past us, and my mom says, and mind you, hood on, sunglasses, everything, right? And she said, "Little boy, can I have your ticket?"
Oh no.
And he turns
No.
around. He turns around and looks at her and he goes, and he runs off. And we're just dying laughing because that we traumatized this kid,
Oh man.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been that funny, but
Yeah.
the kid's reaction of
Oh yeah. Oh, hey, being a dad of a 10-month-old, that's a real thing right now. Like anything that he gets scared of, he's like, "Ugh." So to know that happened and that was your mom's doing, that's hilarious. And I'm sure your
oh
mom
man.
is the sweetest person because I know my mom is. So like
Oh
to have
yeah,
that
no,
preference.
she is.
So
My
that
my
that
yeah.
go
Carol
ahead.
Moreno is a saint.
Yeah, yeah, same thing. Yeah. But that makes me laugh because I remember I took a picture on Splash Mountain because I was in this weird mode. I was being a young teenager, being stupid, of course, and I like didn't want to ride Disney Splash Mountain like an idiot. So my way to protest was to pull my hoodie up and pull it super tight. So I was just looking out of a hole. So I literally have a picture of me like hunched up and looking like Kenny from South Park with a freaking hole.
That's exactly how my mom looked,
Oh,
just with
that's
glasses.
funny.
I'm telling you, I have the
Oh,
picture. I will
oh,
send it to
oh
you.
man, please, please. I'll even post it on this podcast on YouTube if you get it to me before tomorrow.
All
Please
right,
do.
I'll send it to you.
Okay, cool. Great story. I love that one. So I've got two that involved Space Mountain. One,
Okay.
my wife's gonna kill me about it. But it was just funny. So I'll do mine. That's not it's not like super funny, but it's whatever. So being again stupid teenager, we're riding Space Mountain. Everything's cool, and instead of just being patient, when we get impatient, I've got nothing else to do but let me just whip out my phone while I'm riding on Space Mountain. So at the end, I'm like, cool, we're done. Let me just whip out my phone. So I'm holding my phone in front of me just like normal, right? Ride's going, cool, everything's done. And I'm like, cool, we're about to get off. So, you wait in that second queue, like everyone loads and unloads on the train in front of you. So I've got my phone out and I'm like, yeah, let me just check Facebook for some reason because I think 30 seconds quicker is going to do anything for my life. So, anyway, so I'm looking at my phone where the train moves forward and it parks just like ready, and we're gonna do the load and unload. Well, as I'm sitting there, I'm literally at front car, and I've got my phone out. The lap bar literally rocket launches out of my lap at my hands and shoots my phone literally out of my hands down below. And I was
Oh,
like, oh my gosh, like what am I doing? What an idiot. I should just kept my phone in my pocket like a normal. Thanks to the cast members, by the way. I literally like jumped off the ride and I was like, hey, I dropped my phone. And literally the train went by and they reached down with a big old grabber and grabbed it. And they're like, here you go. And I was like, wow, like you guys are
a big,
professionals.
big
Like,
old
oh,
claw.
big old claw, big old claw. And I'm not joking. It was like a 6-footer. They were like, clack, like that. Super cool. And I was like, wow. And they're like, it happens all the time. Trust me. And I'm like, wow, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry that I'm one of those people that had to have their phone out for the last 10 seconds of whatever and trying to be all cool and stuff like a stupid teenager. But anyways, yeah, that was my stupid one. Now, to my wife's regret here, I'm going to tell one story. Again, here we go. Space Mountain. Good old Space Mountain. We I don't know why, but she gets like that little bit of anxiety of like, we got to get off this ride right now when they open it. And they're like, and people are pushing you to like get off the ride. So my wife, here we go. We're getting off the ride. The lap bar opens and she just turns to bolt and jump. Well, when she jumps to bolt and jump, her foot gets caught on the lip because Space Mountain's ride is
Yeah,
not, it's not short.
you're
It is
sunken in.
you're
Yeah.
sunken in there. So she turns the bolt and jump and catches her ankle and literally just rolls through. So literally just rolls. And because she was trying to be so fast, she is the first person. First person. So not only is she the first person, but she's the first person that's now rolling in front of everyone. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad. So I'm like, babe, like, are you okay? So she's gonna claim, and she'll be like, "No, that didn't happen. You walked by like you were embarrassed." And so in my memory, I did not just walk by acting embarrassed, and my wife just fell in front of everyone. So, the visual of my mind of my wife, just poor wife, just catching her foot and just getting laid out right there in front of everyone is still that's one of our favorite stories to talk about. And I did stop and ask, okay, but she claims that I didn't. She claims that I just walked on by, like, see you later, babe. Good luck
Yeah.
getting up out of there.
Is she listening now?
She's in the back, so I don't know if she's
Okay.
listening now, but she definitely heard that story.
I was gonna say, yeah. Are you getting a glare or are
No,
you?
no, but I keep
Okay.
looking for that corner just in case. Yeah, that's my funny little family moments. Hey, it makes it all great, doesn't it?
Of
Things
course.
like that make Disneyland, aside from the experiences, the family moments is what just ties it in for you, right?
Yes.
The COVID sniffing dogs and the weed smoking dogs. I apologize. The weed sniffing dogs. They were on to me. But great memories that I get to carry with me for the rest of my life, and I can't wait to have more memories with Maverick here getting older and see the experiences and the stuff that he gets to do, through his eyes. And I'm really excited about that part. Uh,
Yeah.
Mr. Jake, any final thoughts?
No, I think we covered it pretty, substantially. I think there's going to be I hope a lot of people will actually give suggestions on, what their favorite off the beaten path area is, and because maybe that's a new place for us to discover.
Yeah.
But ultimately, yeah, it doesn't have to be anything off the beaten path for a lot of people, but there's a lot of special places in that park for people, like we talked about. And there's some where you think, oh, you walk right by it and never even think of it, right? But maybe you try it out one day, you sit down there, have some lunch there, have breakfast there, whatever, and you realize, wow, this is a great spot we've been missing our entire lives.
100%. 100%. I agree with you. I hope people do, like, comment, hey, there's a memory attached to this area with me. I love hearing those stories. I'm sure you do too, Jake. It just makes it magical for all of us. Cool. Well, thank you, Jake. Again, thank you so much for being part of this episode. This one was going to be a hard one to like punch home, and I appreciate you giving your time to help me on this one. If I don't get you on that episode before you experience your trip in December, I wish you have the greatest time in December. It's going to be epic. I already know that. And you and your wife, I'm sure, will have a fantastic time. So I'm wishing you guys the best time for that, as well as anyone listening here. I'm sure, whether we're jealous or not, because I'm jealous, we are definitely wishing you a good time. So thank you, everyone, for listening. This is the Magic of Mayhem. My name's Austin. Thank you again to my special guest, Jake. This won't be his last time on, just FYI. So everyone, you could just stay tuned. We will have other guests too. I found out my wife wants to be on one, so I'm really excited about that. You'll get to meet my wife Natalie on one of these future episodes. So we'll see. Follow our social media on Instagram, X, Facebook, YouTube, where this is uploaded. It's the Magic of Mayhem, or TMO_Mayhem. So appreciate your guys' time. Have a magical week. We'll be back next week to kind of be on the final 2 episodes of Disneyland. Jake, love you, brother. Thank you again so much for your time. And we'll sign off. Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you next time. Later.
Thanks.